I'm Scott Anderson. I'm the district attorney here in Morgan County, and the DA's office is starting a new program. It's called Helping Families Initiative, or HFI. The history behind this program was it started in Mobile County probably 20, 30 years ago. The DA there at that time was John Tyson, and he started an HFI program. What happens with an HFI program is that it addresses two issues in the school system. One's truancy and the other is behavioral issues. So with regards to the truancy, the DA's office is going to send a letter to either the parents or the grandparents of the child or the caregiver, and it's going to be a friendly letter, and it's going to tell them your child has 3 unexcused absences, and then it's going to offer aid. So it's not going to be a threat. We're going to offer to assist them in making sure that their child attends school on a regular basis and that any absences that they have are excused absences. That's the low-hanging fruit of the program. The other issue, the children who are acting up in school, is a little tougher. The way we're going to address that issue is I have asked a number of agencies in Decatur and in Morgan County to assist us. The agencies involved in this HFI program so far is Morgan County DHR, Community Action, Morgan County Juvenile Probation Office, the Mental Health Association in Morgan County, Riverside Counseling, First Priority, Morgan County Systems of Services, Decatur City Schools, Community Free Clinic, PACT, United Way, Decatur Utilities, Decatur Youth Services, the Neighborhood Christian Center, the Decatur Police Department, Morgan County Sheriff's Office. So there's about 17 agencies so far that have agreed to come in and be a part of our interagency team to evaluate these students to see how we might help them. Becky Bearden, the lady in my office that's spearheading this initiative, is going to lead that team. And what we'll do is any child that is referred to us with regards to behavioral issues, we will evaluate that child, and the home. We may do it by phone, we may do it by Zoom, we may do it with an office visit, or in the really tough cases, we're going to do a home study. So once we gather that information, then that child and that child's issues is going to be presented to the interagency team. And it consists of all these agencies, and the theory is that this agency, if this child has a particular problem, can address that issue. Another agency may address a second issue, and so it's going to be a group effort, a consolidated effort. Whatever that child's issue is, we're going to address it. And our hope is that by addressing these issues, that child will be able to behave in school and will be able to learn. So let me give you an example. I mentioned John Tyson a while ago. When he had that program in Mobile, one day a little boy that was in 4th grade stood up on the desk and announced to the classroom that he was going to kill the teacher and everybody in the classroom. You can imagine the chaos that created in that class. That chaos spread and disrupted the classrooms around them, and before the day was over, interrupted the whole school. So nobody learned too much that day. That little boy's issue was presented to the HFI team there in Mobile. They did a home study. What they found from that home study was that there was no father in the home, which is unfortunately not that unusual. But more unusual, there was no mother in the home. And that young man was being raised by his grandmother. During the home study, they found out that he was being abusive to the grandmother, and he was injuring animals in the neighborhood. So that young man was on a very bad path to a very bad situation. The HFI team also learned during the home study that there was no stove in the home, no washer, and no dryer. So collectively, they got together. The school system found somebody to donate some clothes because he was coming to school in dirty, mismatched clothes. And we all know that sometimes kids can be cruel. So there was another agency that donated a washer. A local church came in and built a clothesline for a dryer, and then another business donated a stove. There was one other issue. They sent him to a doctor and found out that he was psychotic. So the doctor prescribed him some medications for that issue. They thought they'd addressed all the issues and sent him back to school. Now, let me stop there. Before HFI, what would have happened was that this young man would have been sent home where the problem existed, and the school system would have expected grandmother to fix him. Well, that doesn't happen very often. So when they had taken all these measures, they thought they had addressed all the issues. They sent him back to school, and nothing had changed. So rather than giving up, the HFI team dug a little deeper, and they found out another issue, and that was that grandmother was illiterate. So what was happening is that she couldn't read the prescription bottle. And rather than giving the medication for his psychotic episodes as prescribed, she was giving them all in the morning, and they weren't having the impact they were supposed to have. So in order to address that issue, they sent the medication to the school, some of it, and the school nurse administered the morning dose and the afternoon dose, and then they had a social worker go by in the evening on her way home from work to make sure that the young man took his evening dose. And the teachers in that school said that young man was a new kid just like that. Now, I'd like to tell you that that young man went on to be a CEO and to raise a nice family and lived in a big home. I can't tell you that. I don't know what happened to him. But what I can tell you is at the time that HFI addressed his problems successfully and sent him back to school, they put him in the best position to learn that he'd ever had. So HFI is designed to help more than just the child who's having behavioral issues or truancy issues. It does help that child, but if that child has siblings, it helps those siblings. What I'm most excited about is that it helps the teachers. You know, teaching is not just a job, it's a calling. And teachers have one of the toughest jobs in the world. And so if we can make their job easier, if we can take those children who are having behavioral problems in the classroom, if we can correct those problems, then that's going to make the teacher's job easier. But what it's also going to do is going to help the kids that are in that classroom with that child to have a better learning atmosphere. And by that, it's also going to help the entire school. HFI also reaches out into the neighborhoods. That's where law enforcement comes into play. So like I said, the Morgan County Sheriff's Office and the Decatur Police Department are going to be a part of our team. When Becky goes out to do a home assessment, law enforcement is going to go with her. And it's not going to be a confrontational type situation. It's going to be a situation where we let them know that we're here to help. Now, statistics have shown that when police officers frequent neighborhoods, they develop relationships. And so I can envision that the Morgan County Sheriff's Office and Decatur PD are going to benefit from this program by developing relationships in the neighborhood that they wouldn't have otherwise. HFI will also have a positive economic impact locally and statewide. A murder or a capital murder in the state of Alabama costs the taxpayers approximately $8 million per case. And so if we can get to one child who is going down the bad path, and we can change that path so they're going down the right path, and we can prevent them from getting that gun in their hand, committing that robbery, or committing that murder, then we will have saved the taxpayers lots of money, enough money to pay for this program hundreds of times over. Another benefit of HFI is kids can't learn unless they're in school. So when we get these kids back in school, being well behaved, then they're able to better learn. When they learn more, schools' test scores will go up. And so think about this. If there's somebody that's going to move to Decatur or Morgan County, what's one of the first things they do? They're going to research the school system. They're going to look at the scores that these school systems have. And if we can raise our attendance and raise our test scores, then we're more apt to reap the benefit by somebody moving to either Decatur or Morgan County. The Helping Families Initiative is funded through a grant through the state of Alabama. And I have to give credit to Senator Arthur Orr because he's the one that spearheaded the funds for this grant. I've been practicing law now for 32 years, 19 years in private practice and 13 years in the DA's office. And I am more excited about this program and what it can do and the potential that it has to impact this community and these students in a very positive way. I'm more excited about that than anything I've ever been excited about in my whole career.